All right, here we go with another set of themes. This one slightly more complicated than the last one, a lot more notes. Um, we'll just play through them. Uh, if you would like, get your instrument out and you can play along with me, or practice along with me, or sight read along with me to try and catch any of the nuance and the rhythms that you might miss just reading it by yourself. As always, you should listen to these, both these recordings and the original recordings, which will be a little bit different than a single instrument, since most of these were written for orchestra or piano or something like that. So without further ado, let's get to the first one, which is the melody from the third movement of a Mozart piano sonata, the Turkish March Sonata. A lot of people like to play this one, so I figured I would include it for my students. I'm going to set the metronome to the half note equals 80. Before we begin, I would like to point out that this one includes repeats, and some of those repeats are in the middle of a measure, which is a little bit older style notation where we just put a bar line in the middle of a measure instead of at the end of a measure, and that bar line is a repeat. It looks a little weird if you're not used to seeing it that way. It kind of looks weird to my eyes too. Just bear with it. Here we go. This is a half note equals 80. 1, 2, ready, go. We're going to move on to the next theme, which is the French horn solo from the second movement of Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony. This is one of my favorite Tchaikovsky melodies, for which he has a lot. Tchaikovsky is probably my favorite composer. This one is in the wrong key. On a side note, all of these are in the wrong key. They're made to be in band-friendly keys. That being said, this one is slow. This one I will put the metronome on. It's going to be the dotted quarter note equals 56. So it's important to try to feel the subdivision of the 3 eighth notes for every beat. I will count 3, and then I will start playing right on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. right. The next two themes are from operas, which are a little bit challenging because a lot of the melody is originally written for voice. Doesn't always translate well melodically. However, the composers Rossini and Bizet were just phenomenal composers for operas. So I have chosen a couple of their more recognizable themes. This first one, number 3, the theme from The Thieving Magpie, is pretty playful. Take note of the staccatos on the descending 8th note line. Make sure they are bouncy. This one's in 3/4, and I'm going to put the metronome on a quarter note equals 100 for this one. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then play on beat 3. One, 2, 3, 1, 2. That one's a fun one. Alright, this last one, quite possibly the most recognizable of this set, the habanero theme from Carmen. You've probably heard it in cartoons and movies and commercials everywhere. That's all I have to say about that. This one's in cut time. I'm going to put the half note as the beat, and I'm going to use the actual written tempo here at a half note equals 72. I will count 1, 2, 1, and then play on beat 2. 1, 2, 1. I'm sorry, that last little bit does not translate very well with a metronome. When you play this, you can take those fermatas literally, or you can take them with a grain of salt. You can do some different things with that section. It's meant to be a little bit more free. That being said, go listen to the original recordings of these to get some more helpful insights. And of course, practice, 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 practice. That's the only way to get these. So, if you are one of my students and you are listening to these and practicing along with them, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because this is where this kind of content is going to be found, specifically for you. If you're not one of my students but you like this anyway, subscribe anyway. Have a nice day, guys.